Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Angie, and today's video is going to be job interview makeup that I personally typically do when I'm going to an interview. It varies depending on the day, but I'm going to show you my usual patterns with doing my makeup and things that I try to avoid or things that I try to do. And you don't have to wear makeup to a job interview, of course. But for me personally, I feel like I feel more put together, a little more professional looking. And I've unfortunately also heard that sometimes interviewers do pay attention to things like acne or imperfections. I think that might just be human nature to kind of notice blemishes and things like that. And I want to come off as looking, mature, and I'm not saying that people with acne don't, but this is just me personally. I've heard that things like that do matter, so I at least like to even out my complexion a bit because I feel like cameras never really show blemishes the way that they truly are, but I do have large pores. I get acne on my jawline, on my cheekbones, and things like that, so I like to even all of that out and cover some things up and then do some light eye makeup just to look my best for interviews. So if you're interested in doing makeup to an interview, I am a nurse, but the makeup I'm doing can apply to any job interview. I'm keeping it minimal but put together. I'm trying to keep it, pretty subtle. So if you're interested, then just keep watching. And we're just going to jump right into it. So I am going to start by moisturizing my face because I feel like part of preventing this cakey appearance of foundations and things like that is applying like a moisturizer. I don't do primers, so if you do that, then just do your thing, but I'm going to moisturize. So I'm using my moisturizer from The Ordinary, and I'm just going to spread that out over my face. And I guess this is my version of priming, because like I said, I don't really use a primer most of the time. I do have like one or two small primers, but I try to layer as few products on my face as possible. And on a day-to-day basis, I don't really wear makeup, and if I do, I try not to do foundation and things like that. I don't want to clog my pores. So then I'm going to go in with my Healthy Foundation from Physicians Formula. I feel like their shade range is not the best, so I bought the lightest shade, which is not even that light, but I'm going in with LC1. The reason I like this foundation is, number one, it is a drugstore foundation, so even though Physicians Formula tends to be kind of pricey compared to some other drugstore, it's still more affordable than things you would find at Sephora. But the real reason I like this foundation, regardless of the price range, is because I feel like it has a very natural finish. It's not dewy, but it's not matte. It's right in between. I feel like it is buildable if you want full coverage, but it doesn't look cakey. And I really just think it's a great foundation. I use it all the time, and I like it probably the best out of most foundations that I've ever tried. So you can go in with a brush or a sponge with this foundation because, like I said, regardless, in my opinion, it doesn't end up looking very cakey unless you really layer it to get that full coverage look, which I don't do. I'm just trying to, like I said, even out my complexion, cover up any obvious blemishes. So I'm just going in with a sponge and working it into my skin. It's daytime here, it's morning, and I would really love to have those drapes open, but I felt like the light from the window was fighting the light from my mirror, and I wanted you guys to be able to see, so that's why I have those closed back there. So I'm just working this into my skin. I always try to make sure to bring my foundation down along my jaw. I don't really like to put it on my neck because I don't want to age my neck, but you don't want to have any obvious distinct lines between where your foundation ends and your neck begins, so I always try to bring it underneath my jaw just in case it's not the right color for me, but I think this one's pretty decent. Like I said, it's the lightest one I could find in this foundation because I am a fair complexion girl. Alright, let me see if that's all incorporated everywhere. I really try to pack it in around my nose, and I always try to go pretty light with foundation around my nose because I feel like it can start to look especially cakey there if it gets dry and settles into those lines and things like that. So, all right, I think we have it pretty evenly built in everywhere. So I really just did, I know it looked like I applied a lot in the beginning, but it's a light layer because there's not much that comes out on this applicator, and I'm not gonna build it up again. I'm just gonna pause for 1 second. I have a sore throat this morning, so I made myself a little concoction. Little tip, if you don't have any allergies or you're not taking medications that are contraindicated with things like ginger, when I get a sore throat, and sometimes I can't tell, is it a cold, is it allergies, or is it my acid reflux? What I made myself to drink today in the morning was some warm water with cut up slices of ginger, lemon, a little dash of cayenne pepper, a little dash of cinnamon, and some honey. And I feel like it's just nice on the throat. It tastes good, and that's how I'm starting my day today. Anyway, back to the point of this video. So now what I'm going to do is lightly set my face with a little bit of powder. I'm going in with a powder. Oh, by the way, all of the products I'm using are pretty much drugstore products. So that's a plus too. I'll put that in the title of this video because I know that not everyone likes to spend money on expensive makeup. I've had this powder for years. I'm assuming they still sell it. It's the Revlon Photoready powder. I know it's frowned upon to use, you know, old makeup, so don't do it. But I'm just going to take the lightest bit of this powder and I'm going to set my face, but not underneath my eyes because I am still going to add a light concealer there. So I'm setting everywhere else just lightly because I don't want it to look cakey, as I've said a bunch of times already, but I also don't want to look too shiny. I don't want it to start, you know, slipping away while I'm at my interview or whatever, so I'm just lightly setting. Okay, so now I am gonna go in with a concealer. You can skip this step. You can skip any step along this process. I don't like to use a very heavy concealer underneath my eyes. I just want something to kind of even out my skin tone there as well and cover up some of the purple discoloration I have. So I'm gonna go in with my number 7 Radiant Glow Concealer. So far, just so you know where you can get these products, because sometimes people don't know, Physicians Formula, I believe is usually sold at places like Walmart for sure. I think Target might have it as well, but I know you can get it at Walmart. And this concealer, the number 7 products, I get from Walgreens. So I'm going to apply, I'm trying to like see it in my mirror, but also show you guys what I'm doing. I'm applying a little bit of this here underneath my eyes, and then I'm going to work it in with that same sponge we used for foundation. Okay. So just like that, I'm going to work it in on the other eye. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I paused certain moments during this video because I still don't have editing software. I'm sure there is some free software that I can download for my computer, but as of now I don't have any, so I don't want this video to be too dragged out. That's why I do that. Now I'm going to set underneath the eyes with just a little bit of powder so that that concealer doesn't crease. You can use the same powder. You can use a loose setting powder. I don't own a loose setting powder from the drugstore, but I always hear really good things about the Maybelline Fit Me powder and the Coty Airspun powder. So you can get either of those. I hear really good things. I just, like I said, try not to use face makeup too much, so I don't really want to buy a full tub of powder if I'm barely going to use it. Okay, moving on, I'm going to do my eyebrows real quick. I'm going to use the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I like this thing a lot, but I have no special way of doing my brows, so I'm just going to pause real quick, do them off camera, and I'll be back. By the way, guys, I really feel like this is the most natural looking foundation that I've ever used, in a good way. Not that it doesn't cover things up, it just looks so much like your own skin, and I feel like that's especially important for a job interview. I don't think that you should really show up looking too cakey, but then again, who cares what I think? You can ultimately do whatever you want. So I'm going to set my eyebrows real quick. I'll tell you in a second what I'm setting them with. I just wanted to at least show you this step because this is a fast one. This is really strange to do using my camera, but hopefully I got that right. Let's see. All right. So to do that, I use the Milani Stay Put Brow Shaping Gel. All right. Now that my eyebrows are done, and I tried to go like pretty natural, it's pretty close to the color of my roots and things like that. I don't think that, like on me personally, I don't want to do a very sculpted, super crazy brow for an interview. I want it to stay relatively natural. All right, we're almost done. Now we're moving on to the eyes. I have to prime my lids somehow because my lids are, first of all, like at least slightly hooded, if not more. And I develop oils on my eyelids throughout the day. So I just feel like I do need something to prime my eyelids when I'm doing eye makeup to attempt to keep things in place. And in this case, using a concealer will also help even out the tone of your eyelid, cover up any veininess or discoloration that you have, and make you look a little more awake. But it's your choice if you want to do that or not. I used the Wet n Wild Photofocus concealer for that, because that one actually has more color to it and it's not a radiant concealer like that number 7 one, so I just felt like it's better for these purposes, and I think the Wet n Wild one is only like $5. You can also use the Wet n Wild concealer underneath your eyes, just like what we did with that number 7 concealer, and that would work perfectly well too. It's actually a very nice concealer, that Wet n Wild one. So all I did after that was I set my eyelids with that same powder from before, and now I'm going to go in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm going to take an eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to apply this in the crease of my lid, just to add some color and some depth there. And this is the same bronzer that I'm going to use on the rest of my face, so it'll look pretty natural and tie everything together. So I'm just slightly working that into the crease. You can also use your fingers if you don't have a makeup brush. So it's just a little bit of something in there to add some dimension. And give me 1 second. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, that's pretty much it for eyeshadow. I wanted to keep this as affordable as possible, so that's why we're using bronzer on our eyelid. Now I'm going to go in with this Flower Beauty eyeliner. It's the Forever Wear Longwear eyeliner in the color Brownstone, and I'm going to apply a little bit along my lash line. I'll be right back. Okay, so I did it off camera for time's sake, but literally all I did was I went into this outer half right here with the eyeliner, and I literally just looked down and went like this along my lash line. And so it's just on the outer half of each eye. And what I'm going to do with that, you can use a Q-tip for this part if you don't have a brush. I have a little smudger brush, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly smudge that out, just so it looks a little bit more natural and the slightest bit smoky, because I think it'll be a little more flattering. Keep in mind this is job interview makeup, so I'm trying to keep everything pretty simple looking. So I just smudged that out just a little bit. You can see the difference, just so it's not a harsh line. I'm going to pause again. Okay, so all I did was finish smudging out those upper lash lines just a little bit. Whatever is left on my little smudger brush, I'm going to use on my lower lash line just a little bit here. If you're using a Q-tip, what you can do is dip your Q-tip onto the edge of your eyeliner, or I mean use your eyeliner to kind of draw onto your Q-tip to get some color on there, and then you can do this. You can also very lightly apply a line of the same eyeliner to your lower lash line and smudge it out that way if you would like, or you can skip this step completely. So it just added a little bit of color to my lower lash line, as you can see. I didn't add any extra product, it was just what was left on that smudger brush from that top lash line. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish up the eyes with mascara. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Telescopic mascara. You could use the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. You can use one of the the Maybelline mascaras are really good, like the one in the yellow tube. Jordana has a Best Lash Extreme Volumizing Mascara that's very good and very affordable. I'll be right back. I'm going to do some mascara real quick. Alright, mascara is applied. That's all that I did off camera. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of bronzer on the face. I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. A really good affordable option, which you could have also used on the eyes, is the e.l.f. Fiji Duo Blush and Bronzer, because this way you have a bronzer and a blush. So you can use either one. I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer because I feel like it's a little more natural on me since I have a lighter complexion. So I'm just dipping into any brush I have. You can also skip this step. It really doesn't matter because I'm just doing the lightest bit just to add some color to my face. And by the way, in the beginning of this video, I just applied like a moisturizing kind of chapstick on my lips just so that they would get nice and moisturized during the process of me doing my makeup. I like to do that sometimes so that if I apply a little bit of lipstick, my lips will be moisturized, but they won't have like a fresh layer of lip balm on them by the time I'm done doing my makeup. You can do that, you don't have to. Alrighty, and now we're going to do blush real quick. Sorry, I feel like I'm racing against time here because I don't want this video to be too long in case I don't have a way to edit it. So now I'm taking another brush and I'm taking this Essence Silky Touch blush. I get Essence products from Ulta. They're so affordable. This was probably like $4 and it's just in the color Baby Doll. It's a nice light pink color like this. You could use whatever you like. You could use that e.l.f. Duo Blush Bronzer thing that I showed you as well. And I'm just doing the slightest bit of blush. I just dab into my product like 2 times and then I tap off the excess and then I lightly apply it, not like a doll face right head on, but like toward the side of my cheekbones to make it look more natural since this is for a job interview. And then I like to add a little bit of color to my forehead and my nose, just again to look more natural. Give me 1 second. I was just trying to make sure we haven't skipped any steps before I wrap up this video. You can leave it at that, or you can apply some sort of lipstick if you want. I wouldn't do like a super glossy lip for a job interview, but I'm going in with something that is nude for me. I am a fairer complexion, as I've told you. You can pick a color that's nude for you. I wouldn't do a bold lip to an interview. I'm going in with the Maybelline Colorsensational lipstick in 910 Bare All. It's very pale. And I'm not going to apply a heavy layer of this because it would look like concealer on my lips. What I'm doing is I'm lightly dabbing it onto my lips. And I'm going to tap it in with my fingertip. So as you can see, it's a very thin, very natural looking layer. And it just adds a little something to my lips, but still looks like my own natural lips. And that's it. So this is the type of makeup that I would typically do for a job interview. I wouldn't go much heavier than this. It looks natural, but I like put together. My blemishes are covered up, and I have a little bit of something around my eyes. It just helps me feel more confident. It helps me look more put together overall. And yeah, this is what I like to do to go into a job interview. I had filmed a video about a month ago of my tips for finding nursing jobs, specifically for both new grads and experienced nurses, because I'm now on my second job. I'm in the ER at this point. And it's such a great video, but it was like 30 minutes long, so I'm trying to re-record it by cutting things out. I had typed up all the important points I wanted to say, and it still ended up being so long. So I'm working on re-recording that video for you guys. It's a really good one with some great information. But in the meantime, I hope this was helpful for you. Please let me know if there are any videos you'd like to see in the future. They don't just have to be work related. I kind of wanted to have like a lifestyle channel because, to be honest, I'm just doing this for my own enjoyment. And I really enjoy watching videos of people making like matcha lattes and just the most random stuff, home decor. So if there's anything you guys want to see from me at all, let me know. Otherwise, good luck in your interviewing process. And that's it. Thanks for being here. Have a great day.